click right there? That's fine, that works great. I'm pretty impressed. This is a list of 110 organizations, I counted here. 110 professional organizations, supporting fluoridation. It's pretty impressive. So when we see that kind of consensus out of professional organizations, it set my bar a little bit higher about what I expect for scientific proof. So can you help me understand the lowering of the recommended EPA recommended limits? It was 1.2 parts per million to down to 0.7 ever since what, the 60s or so, right? And then in 2011 they lowered it to 0.7. And I said, okay, cool. If you're going to do that with all this scientific consensus, I'm going to look for a controlled exposure study. I'm going to look for something that's really serious that says, hey, we've done the studies and we know this is the optimal limit. We're using 0.7 because 0.2 might be too little and 2 is too much, but I can't find the science that backs up that number. Can you illuminate me on that? Why 0.7? Why not 0.5, 0.2, 0.1?
I'll start, and I might even let Dr. Brown speak, so he has an opportunity since he's participating. But, originally there was that range that was recommended because with the thought that there were variations in the consumption of water based on climate, warmer weather climates, that people drink more, so that, and I think historically Austin was at that lower range to begin with. I think that there's been, and EPA did some assessments of what is the actual consumption variations, and I think it's been found with increasing in air conditioning that there are actually less variation in some of those water consumption based on the different climates. But that's a good example of continuing to look at what information is out there and refining the recommendations based on
that. Just to say that the net effect of the new recommendations in Austin is 0. I think the change, is from a range of 0.7 to 1.2 parts per million to a recommendation of 0.7 parts per million. We have been at 0.7 all along. Now, it was thought in the past that water consumption varied with latitude, that is, varied with climate, and that in hotter climates, water consumption would be higher. But more recent studies of that have shown it's not the case. And as said, likely this is due to widespread air conditioning.
I'm sorry, but that was interesting, but it seemed completely unresponsive to my question. Where are this? I'm sorry.
I would add is that 0.7 it's been identified as the optimal level for optimizing the benefits with respect to tooth decay and balancing it with any effects related to mild dental fluorosis.
Okay, based on what? The reason what I'm driving at is I've been involved in an ozone debate. Parts per billion, whatever measurement you have, and there were some controlled exposure studies, rather interesting. They took a control group, they put a mask on somebody, get them to breathe through their mouth, they put a certain, controlled amount of ozone that people ingest, they measure it. It's a scientific study. I'm looking for that on this scientific question. All these scientific organizations that have signed on, and I'm looking for science.
Well, it's based upon 70 years of studies. That's a very long time to be studying this subject. And optimal was defined, and has continued to be defined, as the balance between caries reduction, tooth decay reduction, and the minimal amount of dental fluorosis. Now, dental fluorosis is, as we're talking about it, is mild, and it's a slight whitening of the teeth. I want to remind you that that's not a problem. It's not a health problem. In fact, I can't even believe that it's an aesthetic problem when millions of people pay to have their teeth bleached. and thereby make them look as if they have mild fluorosis. The public doesn't seem to believe it's a problem. They seem to think that's an enhancement. So the 70-year history, I think we ought to be, it ought to be pleasing to see that the authorities continue to monitor this, and as they notice a change, a slight increase in this mild fluorosis, largely due to other fluorides in toothpaste and a range of other products, they recommend that the range be reduced from 0.7 to 1.2 and just be set at 0.7. But it's based upon 70 years of experience and studies all over the world.
I have a final question for Dr. Wang. Do you know of any cities in Texas that have eliminated fluoride treatment in the water, fluoride addition?
Jane Brazier, that's it.
I'm Jane Brazier, Assistant Director with Austin Water. In 2011, College Station discontinued fluoridation. It came about when the city manager made a recommendation to eliminate it as part of the budget process. Corpus Christi discontinued the fluoridation, but their equipment broke and they never repaired it. They are now, though, based on data going back to fluoridation, trying to bring that back. Dallas, Texas reviewed the fluoridation issue, and in January of this year they voted to continue fluoridation in that city. San Marcos is currently fluoridating, but citizens have gathered a petition to support a charter amendment to end fluoridation. That election has not taken place yet.
What about Bryan, Texas?
They're not fluoridating either.
Okay, you left
The
them out.
articles when I was looking were mixed with College Station, so I couldn't tell who the provider was, if College Station was treating the water for Bryan or not.
No, they quit in about 2006, 2007.